In the fight against gun violence, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Every city is different, and therefore every model must be adapted. In this episode, we're taking you to Fort Worth, Texas, where Pastor Rodney McIntosh has seen success with a strategy based on advanced peace. At its core is the idea that those driving the majority of shootings aren't broken beyond repair, but rather overlooked and under-resourced. Around the nation, gun violence is destroying families and weakening communities, and it's becoming a leading cause of death for young people. We know that in nearly every city, only a small number of people are driving most of the violence. An approach called Group Violence Intervention, or GVI, identifies those individuals and engages with them directly, trying to offer them a way out before the violence occurs. It's not just about stopping the shootings. It's about building a community where everyone feels like they have a shot at hope. Violence intervention models that target violent groups like GVI have seen success by aligning three groups: law enforcement, community leaders, and supportive services. The focus is tackling the group dynamics driving the majority of shootings in a community. But in Fort Worth, Pastor Rodney McIntosh says his community needed a more individual-centered approach. So instead of focusing on violent groups, he and his team zeroed in on individuals, those most at risk of shooting or being shot, and started working with them one-on-one. His group is called VIPFW, which stands for Violence Intervention and Prevention Fort Worth. Pastor McIntosh explains that the approach is based on a model that started in California called Advanced Peace.
So in 2020, we went to Richmond, California, looked at Advanced Peace, saw the way they were doing this CBI work. We also took a trip to San Antonio, looked at a program called Stand Up Essay, and saw how they were doing the work. And I just kind of, after I saw the way Advanced Peace did it and the way and who they targeted and how specific they were about the demographics and the group they were trying to get to, I just kind of decided that this was the program we wanted to bring to Fort Worth. But my passion for continuing to do it, of course, like so many others in this room, just previously being involved in group of gang violence or just in the gangs in the streets, but also I lost a brother in 2017 to gun violence, and then in 2020, right when we were getting ready to really start this, I lost a young cousin to gun violence. So it's kind of what got us there and got me to this place.
The men and women of VIP Fort Worth come from the same neighborhoods that they now serve, and they want to lift up the same neighborhoods that they once caused chaos in.
We started just kind of reaching out to people we knew, and then just to see if they would be willing to, try to, give back and help repair what we destroyed. So, most of the guys that you see that's from the east side of Fort Worth, we either grew up together, we're in the same gangs, or either, been knowing each other, like me and Blow been knowing each other since we was probably 11 or 12 years old. So it was the guys around me, man, like we continued to plug along and, try to do this work. And then they started, as we were given the funding to kind of expand over the time.
They are known as neighborhood change agents. They identify high-risk individuals and enroll them in peacemaker fellowships. These fellows receive mentorship, daily check-ins, and opportunities for travel and personal growth. The fellowship is designed to pull them out of the cycle by surrounding them with trust, opportunity, and relentless support.
They know who we are. We authentic ourselves. So we've been through what they going through. So and came back. So we just, like I said, we try to show them something different.
A lot of the young men that they may be working with, they probably at one point, may have ran with their fathers or knew their mothers. But man, I'll never forget a statement. We had a young man we were mentoring. The mother reaches out. We meet and we're having a conversation. And we told her, we got your son. And she says, man, I didn't even know men like y'all existed in our community no more, right? And so as you start to help people's children, you start to help people's sons, and that just becomes this respect factor, right?
Change agents help mediate conflicts with the goal of de-escalating tense situations and preventing retaliatory violence. Pastor McIntosh says that the work succeeds because it's rooted in the community, not imposed from outside.
Each person here, honestly, man, has a unique skill set, but they also have the ears of certain people in certain areas. Honestly, like, man, he may not say much, but if we honest, everybody in this city probably, if you're on the east side, gonna go talk to this dude, right? Everybody at his house, you know, you wanna go see what Blow got to say or this and that, man. And like we joke all the time, he may be like Mr. West Side, like, you know, he been in Como his whole life. So you get these people that's so ingrained in their community, and that's dealing with these young people already, so that it does not become a task in trying to get to them. You can't just go and pick somebody, because I think what some of these programs may fail, and this may sound, you know, this may sound crazy to say, right? You have to pick somebody that's so close to the streets that if somebody from the outside looking, they may think they in the streets. Yeah. But then you also have to pick somebody that they can be that close but know how to walk into a room and represent the organization well, handle themselves well, not get caught up in scandals or different things. So that's what I'm saying. When we say incredible, you literally have to be a chameleon to do this job. You literally have to be able to be around young people and know how to toe the line, like be an example for them. But at the same time, and you have to still be able to be so close to where they don't lose that level of respect they have for you, that your voice can still have the power it needs, so that they will listen and you can mediate conflict when it happens. So I definitely, and he just made me think about that, because that was another thing. Like, I knew we had to find people that was literally respected, right? Like that man, when they speak, nah, man, people are gonna listen. You got to find that champion. Like, seriously, like you first got to find like that one person, like that a champion this work, because I'll never make light of it. There's gonna be backlash, there's gonna be ridicule, like, man, whoever decides to start this work, because most people gonna think, you know, they just hiring hoodlums or they hiring thugs, they giving jobs to ex-gang members, people that been to prison. Like, man, why would we invest in them? Like, man, so you gotta find somebody that's willing to, you know, I say that's not willing, that has thick skin, that's able to take everything that's gonna be thrown at them, man, walk in humility, right? But that also is respected amongst, and not just the streets though. You have to find somebody that's gonna be respected in any room that they walk in. Yeah. And I think like being a pastor kind of helped me in that place. And I'm not saying it has to be a pastor, but you have to find somebody that's like invested in their community, that they soul desires to see their community, their city better.
The team also makes it clear that they are not the police, and their job isn't to lock people up. They're there to focus on being a constant presence in the lives of people who need it.
We dealt with it enough, just people in the community, man. Them dudes the police. We got a young lady here that works right now. I don't want to put her in the spot, but if you asked her, when we were asking about her son, she was like, man, I don't care who it is, OG, whoever. And they were acting like they police. They asking all these questions that come. So it was hard enough just to get into the community with people thinking that and saying that.
My son showed up and said he had a mentor, and I was like, ooh, how you get it? Yeah. Where you get a mentor from? The post. So I just swore that they was undercover police, just trying to, you know, come in like a best friend and play. No, you don't have a mentor. No, who, you know, but the sincerity and the results of their work, now, they in the field, they heard from me. Like, they not worried about the politics, they not worried about they really worried about saving young men's lives. They really about getting, like, right there, like, jump in front of bullets, like, pull up, like, just no 911 calls you can't call. It's the scenes that you can't call the police to. It's the people that the police cannot call to get a statement from, you know what I'm saying, that carry most of the weight. So when you got somebody that's sincerely willing to just stop that, you know, every conversation you have with these people is saving somebody's lives, and it don't matter statistically, it don't matter none.
But we have no police involvement. They do their job, we do ours. And at the end of the day, I think we all have the same goal, right? At least I would hope that we all, and I believe that, you know, they want our city to be safe. We want our city to be safe. We just a different tool now used for public safety.
We're not trying to send them to jail. We're trying to get them some help. We're trying to change their thought process and eventually change their life. So,
for lack of better words, as my mentor would say, we court the young people. So, Doc, you can tell us no today, we'll see you tomorrow. Right. You can tell us no for 4 months.
Violence prevention work also includes leading group classes on emotional intelligence, conflict mediation, and mental health, and taking the fellows outside their neighborhood so that they can see a different world.
We big on the conflict mediation. emotional intelligence, as well as emotional maturity. Man, we just had a conversation the other day about mental health. What is it, mental health crisis? Yeah, like if you're in the middle of a mental health crisis. So we do, it's no specific curriculum. Man, it's just like, man, you know, we kind of just pick a topic. And some people may say, man, that's different, but nobody talked to us about none of this stuff. You know, and I didn't hear about emotional intelligence, bro, until I started doing this work and had to look. But they never told me what an ACE was. I didn't know nothing about no adverse childhood experience. Like, we didn't talk, because we talk trauma with them, you know, like, because a lot of times people look at these young people and think, man, you know, that they evil or they wicked. Nah, they dealing with trauma. Like, man, can you imagine growing up in the neighborhoods they grew up in? Right. And then you expect them to thrive? Food deserts, shutting schools down, you know what I'm saying? Like, absentee fathers, like, man, it's just like, of course, we have to be under drug-infested communities. Nah, doc, most of the things I just said, literally, if you look on the list for ACEs, it could be covered under that, right? And they say if you have more than 4 of them, man, then you really need to get help. Man, we watch these young people have to grow up in these communities dealing with all of those ACEs and all of this trauma. So, man, we just try to have different conversations. Sometimes we come and they'll tell you, it just be an outlet. We just let them talk, right? Most of the time we kind of let them lead the conversations. But, man, we're starting to realize that, you know, they look forward to it, because now they got to where they'll call me. We having class, man, I need it, man. It's like therapy to me. What makes us different as well, even just advanced peace, our motto, why we believe it works, is like you heard Ox say, either phone call or face-to-face. I've had the privilege of being in different circles nationally now, and I've heard how they talk about how they engage, you know, the young people. And again, nothing against any program, but I've heard some people say, yeah, we send once every 3 weeks, or once every 2 weeks, or 3 times a month, or this or that. Now, I mean, these dudes literally got a caseload, and they talk to each one of their guys 2 or 3 times a day. So when you're saying, how is it done? How do we make this change? How do we get them invested? Like this mother said, her son just came home and I got a mentor. And he was literally calling. I've seen FaceTimes where we talking, and it's the engagement, right? That makes us unique when you ask them, like, how do y'all do it? Now, they literally are consistently engaging a demographic or a group that nobody ever engaged. In most cities, they call them the 1%ers. You know, they say it's only really 1% of, you know, the population that's driving up most of the violence. Well, that 1% needs to be engaged by somebody, right? That is what CVI work does. CVI work goes right to that 1%, and everybody may not do it as many times as us, but we go right to that 1%, and we start to engage them. And I always ask the question, can you imagine being a young man who never had resources, never had anybody talking to you, never had anybody actually that even seemed like they was concerned with your well-being, waking up the next day after you meet your mentor, the NCA, and man, now all of a sudden you got this constant in your voice. It's beautiful, man, to do this work when you get to that place to where before they do something, they call you just to let you know that's where they at, because they really calling saying, bro, I need some help. I don't want to do this, but this is how I'm feeling. These are the men and women that talk young people down on a day-to-day basis to save the city of Fort Worth, man, millions of dollars.
In the first 6 months of 2023, Fort Worth had 0 gang-related shootings compared to 25 in the same period the year prior. The notable turnaround is widely attributed to the relentless street-level outreach and mentorship carried out by VIP Fort Worth. Pastor McIntosh says he feels the work speaks for itself and has the respect of the city.
We have difficult moments like now, you know, we're dealing with funding issues, but I even believe like leadership in this city has gotten to a place to where they know that they know and believe that this program is of necessity for the city of Fort Worth.
Listen to A Shot at Hope on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Or go to smartjustice.org.